The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album are strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter in each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence. You are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 73.
Oh, my God. So I think a couple days ago, I cracked my back and I completely knocked it out of order. So I'm really feeling 73 today.
You're up there in the old ages. It's okay. It's going to happen to the best of us.
Put me down like a broken leg horse, please.
Yeah, your hosts who are bound for the glue factory for the day are Kris and
Savannah.
Hell yeah, glue factory. Except just like us trying to run a podcast, we can't hold shit together. So do not buy our brand.
Nice segue.
That's the best I got. But yes, we are the Rate the Record podcast, and welcome to episode 73 today. Glad that you're here with us, hanging out, listening to music, and being part of the musical discussion. You know, that thing that we try to do every single week, all the time. We've been doing it for 73 solid episodes now. We're just going to keep going, apparently. But yes, once again, thank you very much for being here and hanging out. And if you like it and see what you see and or hear today, make sure you let us know how much you like what you see and or hear. There's several free ways and easy ways to do it. Like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, follow. All of those things do help us build this musical community that, you know, we're trying to build brick by brick by requested album by requested album, because that's also part of we've done plenty now. Today's a request. Yeah. We have more coming. So yeah, I mean, whatever you can do, show us some love, help boost us up in the algorithms and stuff like that, and the charts and everything like that for the podcast, like the audio portions of the podcast over on YouTube. We want to get seen, eyes and ears on everything we do, because part of the reason why we're doing that is so people will, you know, hang out.
Knowing that people have eyes and ears on me, I'm like, oh no, I have foot and mouth disease, so that's kind of like a little difficult for me. So yeah, just listen to us on Spotify. Just listen. No,
I suppose so, but if you watch the video things, first off, if you want to see Savannah's foot in her mouth, that is part of the OnlyFans that we have, so by all means, go ahead and subscribe to that. But if you don't want to subscribe to OnlyFans, because I can see why people would be embarrassed about that, there's another way to financially support us. That's Ko-fi.com/ratetherecord. You become part of the RTR Club. $5 a month gets you access to a bunch of bonus stuff, thank yous and shout outs to you, and we'll put your name on the card and everything like that. And I already said bonus content, but that's fine too. And also, if you have a band and you want us to hear one of your songs and rank it on like a very special list or anything like that, we can do that too. So by all means, $5 a month, or you can do a one-time donation, do whatever you want, but regardless, the options are there. All of that, all the streaming links, Ko-fi.com/ratetherecord, the album request link, and the album giveaway link, which this month for April 2023, we're giving away Mr. Bungle's California, and it's open to Canada, the United States, the UK, and Australia. So 4 big demographics for us. So by all means, all of those links are either found down in the description below or at ratetherecord.ca.
Hell yeah, and good luck to everyone who has entered or is thinking of entering, which you should.
So the second thing I wanted to address for the video viewers, you might notice something a little different. Audio viewers, just hang out for a little bit. Savannah's surrounded by flowers.
So I was thinking that my background for the last 73 episodes has changed slightly, but has not changed this drastically. And I felt, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. So I have some peel and stick wallpaper. It is completely covered in flowers, and it is a stark contrast to Kris's black brooding band background.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, you've literally been in 2 different locations for yours as well, not just different backgrounds, different locations.
Yes, and I finally, after a year of being at this one, I finally decided to create my little cubicle, and I have my acoustic guitar behind me, which every so often will get swapped out for an electric bass. But so far, I'm trying to relearn guitar. It is not working.
The Elliott Smith is really getting to you now, is it?
Yeah, I remember commenting and just saying it makes me want to play my guitar again. So
you said that a couple of times in that episode.
Yeah, and I think it was the next day. The next day, I bought some wall hanging guitar hangers. So I'm excited.
Not bad. And yeah, my background, I mean, for anyone who really notices, I had a wardrobe here that kind of really boxed me in a whole lot. But now it's just a black wall because I had to tear down that wardrobe. It was falling apart and everything like that. And I just wanted a new one anyway. My background will eventually look fairly different. I'm in the kind of stage 1 of that right now. So yeah, you're going to see new things on the show as we grow and evolve, apparently.
Yeah, I might hang my keyboard on the wall so I can do some sort of like, I know Journey. There's a video that they have where they're like playing outside a barn or something. And the guy's playing the keyboard against the barn. I was like, cool, I should just mount it to the wall.
I could do that. Not? I have a MIDI controller and I have a full-size Core Triton synthesizer over there. I could just decorate everything in the background just with my instruments. Got my guitars and bass over here. I'm just going to have a band set up behind me.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
This is going to be your lead singer.
Ew, gross.
Cheese man
Cheese
back.
Face.
That's an episode 4 callback.
Gross.
Anyways, we're talking about episode 4. Oh my god, yes. We're way too far ahead of that. It's episode 73, and today, as mentioned before, is a request. And Hydroman Rand, that's the nickname he wants to go by, wants to take a look at Khruangbin and their album Con Todo el Mundo. Now, real quick, we're obviously not fluent in any other language, and there's probably going to be butchering of words in this one. They're not all Spanish, but there are a few. So forgive us, or forgive me specifically, for kind of just absolutely torturing these names. But I mean, I'm trying, and I'm just trying to get through it as well as best as I can.
Just like French, I can read it sort of, but as soon as I go to speak it, that's when my anglicized version of it comes out. The album Con Todo el Mundo. It's like, oh, there are no accents on that whatsoever. You sound terrible. So sorry, no offense.
And I think the funniest part is, like, there's a lot of Spanish words on this album, but at the same time, the name is actually Thai. Khruangbin is actually apparently, in translated to English, means airplane, which I'll get into a moment because cool. That's I explain why the band name and how that came about and everything like that. But just before we do that, just so we're all on the same page, if you've been here before, you know sometimes we struggle with these types of things. So hey, welcome back. Glad you're here, that you can hang out with us and enjoy this album. So you know what to expect. But if you're new here, welcome to the show. We hope you enjoy your stay. You came here for a request episode, so if you have one, remember we will do a request album for you. But regardless, that means you probably don't know what we do here on the show. So each week, Savannah and I will take an album. We'll discuss it at length from front to back. And it could be completely random. It could be a request episode like today, or it could even be celebrating an anniversary, which we just did. I think the most recent one was Depeche Mode's Songs of Faith and Devotion.
Yeah.
For episode 70. So yeah, we choose an album one way or another. And as I mentioned, we do discuss it front to back at length. Then we'll rank the songs and then we rate the record. Not waiting for you.
That was fine. I purposely did it.
Well, because I was watching you in the camera and I saw you like freeze and I was just like, oh, I don't care. I'm not stopping.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm the shit disturber here.
I think maybe this might be the first week in a while where I've remembered to say everything in the beginning. There's always at least something I forget to do in the beginning. I think I covered all the ground this time. Links
in bio. Done. Don't have to say anything else.
Yeah, but sometimes you describe it like, what are we doing for the album giveaway this month? Which I already said, Mr. Buggles, California. Go check it out.
Links in bio.
Go check out that episode too, episode 7, one of the most popular ones we have. The second most popular episode we have right behind, just another call out, why not? Arctic Monkeys we did for episode 44. That is the most popular episode, but Mr. Buggles, California is number 2. So go ahead, check that out.
If Arctic Monkeys wasn't so solid for a debut record, I don't think it would be the most popular. But my God, I mean, go watch it and find out what we thought.
Yeah, exactly. Where did it fall on our tier list? You might find out a little later, but you can also go find out. But speaking of finding out a little later, that means you'll find out towards the end of the episode. We got to get this thing started. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Khruangbin and their album Con Todo el Mundo. So Khruangbin is a 3-piece indie psychedelic rock band from Houston, Texas. The band consists of bassist and vocalist Laura Lee, guitarist Mark Spear, and Donald Johnson on drums, keys, and piano. Spear and Johnson originally met in 2004 when both played for a gospel church band in Houston. Eventually, Spear met Lee in 2007, and they bonded over their love of Afghan music and Middle Eastern architecture. Lee would learn bass with help from Spear, which would eventually lead to the creation of the band in 2010. Lee named the band, which is the English word for airplane. It just so happened to be her favorite Thai word as she was learning the language at the time. So it's pretty simple, but apparently they went on to regret that because it's not very easy to pronounce. I had to look up 2 different videos on how to pronounce it properly. Khruangbin. That's what I got out of it.
Khruangbin.
I'm probably still saying it wrong.
Yeah, there's probably some sort of rolling R or something somewhere.
Oh, probably. They would release their first album in November 2015, and it would be just a little over 2 years. Yes, a little over 2 years before they released their second album and today's feature. So, Con Todo el Mundo was released in January 2018 through Dead Ocean Records and Nighttime Stories Records. The album was produced by the band and Grammy Award-winning producer Steve Christensen, who also worked on an album for Steve Earle in 2009. That's way past Steve Earle's Copperhead Road days. But hey, that album won a Grammy, and he won a Grammy for it, so
Yeah, why not?
that'd be good work, right? I already read that part. It's a good thing I'm focusing on what I'm doing here. The album has mostly favorable reviews, including holding a 78 on Metacritic, 9 out of 10 by Clash, 8 out of 10 by Exclaim, and a 3.5 out of 5 by our good friends over at AllMusic.
Jesus.
The album spawned 2 singles, Maria Tembian and Friday Morning. Again, I probably pronounced that last one wrong, but yeah, there wasn't really a lot of accolades going on this one, and like there wasn't like chart topping things, so there wasn't much to read for it. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Cool. I always read that Maria Tambien. I just see it as a French word. Being Canadian, anything that looks like that, I'm like, oh, that's definitely just
Tambien.
French. Tambien. Maria Tambien.
Tembian or something like that. We're both gonna say it wrong. That's fine. So usually on the request episodes too, part of the forum that you could see is we usually ask people like, tell us your thoughts on the album, why you chose it, and everything like that. And we're glad to read it on air. And Hydroman Ran wants us to read his little blurb here, so I'm happy to do it. So he says, I discovered this band at the beginning of COVID when I started watching NPR Tiny Desk concerts out of the bedroom.
I watched that.
I have too, and I believe I saw Run the Jewels on that, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. But I've seen a couple of them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is a mainly instrumental album with influences from around the world, but made palatable for ignorant American by being grounded in funk and blues. This album, I found, is a really good anchor for me on difficult days at work. It has a chill vibe where I can kick back with my favorite adult beverage and unwind. Buddy, cheers. I got you here.
Hell yeah.
Take a quick mouthful just for that one. My favorite track is probably August 10. It is hard for me to rate the songs individually, as overall it just has the perfect flow. And the rest of that, what he says there is like his album rating. I'm going to leave that one until we get to the end.
Yep. So it's hard for you to rate each individual song, but you're making us do it. Man, I found it difficult as well, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, well, at least the pressure's not on them. Tell us as much or as little as you want. We have some people in the comments in some of our videos who literally rank every song, and then
which is awesome.
And sometimes we just get people naming like their top 2 or 3 favorites, which is fine too.
Yeah.
We're obligated to say everything. We can't just leave out a half of the album. It's like, oh, that half of the album wasn't great, so here's just like 4 of the songs.
Oh my god, it'd be so much easier if we could, though.
No one would give a shit for what we do.
Fair.
But do they anyways? We'll find that out another time. For now, we actually have to get on with this episode, so let's do this. Again, not good with the Spanish language, so forgive me for butchering some things, but song number 1, Como Me Quieres.
This song sounds like I'm sitting... Okay. I'm just going to preface this, and I know that I preface a lot of my reviews, but this one specifically, for me, it was a lot about how it made me feel and the imagery in my head, and a lot less of, hey, I like this guitar, hey, this is awesome, except I do have some little bits where I praise them greatly. This song sounds like I'm sitting next to a trickling stream in the deserts of somewhere very arid. It feels very chill and relaxing.
Yeah, I definitely get some imagery throughout this entire album because it kind of has like a certain kind of vibe to it and everything like that.
Yeah.
I thought this like immediately kind of gave off that like airy kind of dream pop or dream rock kind of feeling. I know that's called like bedroom pop too. That's kind of like along the same lines, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting from this one. Very chill and easy to get into the album with. And the groove's really nice between the bass and drums. I like that. That happens a lot on this album too, where you just kind of like enjoy that groove that's going on. For this song in particular, maybe it's because the first one I was just being introduced to it, but I did write the note for this one that I don't necessarily have for the next bunch of songs. I said the guitars unfortunately feel like a bit of an afterthought because they're kind of distant in the background. It's like more of a thicker reverb layer on them too, so it just kind of feels kind of disconnected. Whereas like the drums and the bass are pretty like straightforward. You have these layers kind of sprinkled in which are okay with being in the background, but the guitar just doesn't really feel like it's technically or truly part of the song. I don't know, it's weird. Not that I didn't like it, but just I felt the disconnect in the instruments there.
Interesting. I I didn't really. I kind of likened the guitar throughout this entire album as just sort of like a replacement vocals. And there are a lot of times that I will feel like the vocals are just sort of pasted on top of the music. So I didn't really feel that too much, just because I kind of assumed that the guitar was like singing, I suppose. Which leads me to my next point, that the guitar feels like it's telling me a story that I have to decode. It's like it's saying something, it's bringing me somewhere, but it's like in a dream sequence, like when you're actually dreaming and you know that you're following somebody, but it's like as soon as you look at them, they have like an eye down on their chin, an eye where it should be, their nose is upside down, and everything's like skewed. And you kind of have to figure out the meaning of it from sort of how you felt. And that's how I felt about this song. And like you said, I really like the bass line is very nice. And when the guitar is just strumming slowly, the bass comes in with like its part of the story. It kind of takes center stage in front of the guitar, and they kind of swap back and forth. And that was nice.
I find there's other songs in this album, and I do mention it when it comes up a lot too, where the bass and guitar are far more playful with each other.
Yeah.
But not in this one, though. Like, this kind of feels like your kind of typical introduction of this is what everything sounds like. But like even in the next song, which we'll get to in a second, like I felt it was a lot more playful together and it works. And so I enjoyed a lot more about it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had to say, though, aside from that, is I still appreciate like the warm sunset type of vibe that I'm getting from the song. So that kind of goes with the desert idea in the beginning there.
Hell yeah.
I like what I'm hearing. It's not the most like exciting introduction to the album, but it's not bad either.
I feel like it's kind of psychedelic, kind of, again, like doing drugs in the desert sort of feel. And I definitely would not do drugs to this. Not at all. Not one bit.
Doesn't seem like such a harsh record. I bet it could work out pretty well.
Probably. I like how it ended, how the song ended. It didn't fade out. It had a definite end. So that was kind of nice. It was sort of like bookended, and it was its own thing. For this album, I will be giving it a danceable score out of 10. This song, 6 out of 10, mostly swaying.
I feel like that's going to be a lot of options on this album.
Yes, there is one that is fairly danceable, but this one in particular, it was mostly a sort of side to side little sway, nothing too crazy, didn't involve my feet at all.
Well, there you go. Again, I still feel like that's going to be like a lot of the songs on this album.
It might be, you'll have to see.
Well, let's see where the next one lands. Since song number 2, Lady and Man.
This one feels like it kind like the last one, kind of feels like it weaves in and out of like dreaminess and reality. A lot of the songs, spoiler, have heavy reverb on the guitar, so it is very dreamlike and very wistful, I suppose. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly, but it just seems like if you took some chiffon fabric and put it in the wind, that would be this song.
So I just imagine like clothes hanging from the line, drying outside in the wind.
But like
a lot simpler. My little banana loaf brain.
But sheer fabric, so it blows a lot better than cotton would.
Fair enough. Yeah. So you get like your table linens out there.
Yes, exactly. It's like table linens in the wind. Exactly.
This is one of the first songs where I'll say that this is where I felt the guitar and bass were really more playful with each other as compared to the first one. Mm-hmm. Although this song has like a very similar groove and vibe to the first track.
Yes.
Like it doesn't feel like it changed up too much, but enough that you can kind of tell. So like that's okay. But yeah, I do like, again, like the playfulness between the two instruments. I think it was a lot better. The chemistry was definitely there, so there was a lot more to enjoy about it, I would think. And the snare had a great tone in this one too. The drum tone changes from song to song. Sometimes it kind of goes back to one, it'll go back to the other. This one had like a good, like lower, punchy, clean tone to it, and I thought it accents the beat really well. So that caught my attention. I enjoy it.
Yes. Speaking of the drums, I like the little additions of like bright percussion, and I just assume that it's like the bell of the cymbal. So it's kind of like little punchy, I guess, but it definitely contrasts the sort of constant snare sort of keeping on beat. It adds something. I like that. And I find the drums sound programmed, and I don't understand how a band can be so tight and so on time. Like it doesn't, like I watched that Tiny Desk NPR video. I also watched one, I think, for Pitchfork, because I wanted to see really what they were doing to get this sound. And it's just as on time and just as tight live. Holy shit. For a band that has only been together for 8 years, like I wonder, like, did you mention that they knew each other long before they got together?
Well, the guitars and drummer did, and then Laura Lee came a little later on, like around 2007, 2008. She didn't really start playing bass though until like 2009 or 10, I would think.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then, because I thought that maybe since 2015 that they were playing. I'm like, man, they got really good really fast. But that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, so I mean, like the band is, I guess, they've known each other as a band now for like 13 years at this point.
Yeah, they're real tight.
Yeah, and it can't be too hard to develop chemistry. Like when you find something with someone and you click, like it'll just click. Like sometimes you don't have to wait long. Like you just kind of know almost immediately. And this is probably one of those instances.
Yeah,
Whereas
good choice.
Whereas some bands, they will revolving doors their members until there's like 26 previous members, and then you have to do a Wikipedia search on every single one of them, and it gets kind of weird.
Okay. Hold on. So just a sidetrack, just to jump off of what you just said. So there were little bits of this album that I'm like, oh, this sound, it sounds pretty funky because the bass is pretty funky. And then I just, for some reason, went to Google Parliament because I'm like, oh, it kind of reminds me of, like Bootsy Collins sort of bass, little funk, stuff like that. There is an entire Wikipedia page just dedicated to the various members of Parliament, Funkadelic, anything else George Clinton has ever touched in his whole life. I did not know there were that many members of that band or any spin-off bands. There were like whole female bands that were like the Funkettes. Holy crapperoni.
Yeah, I've liked plenty of bands that have had a lot of previous members. Like,
yeah,
I'm a Nine Inch Nails fan, and I mean, for the most part of the career, it's just been Trent. But then there's like been a revolving door of like 14 or 15 musicians, which I think 3 or 4 of them are still technically active with the band right now, like still touring. But I mean, yeah, just even Rush is had like 10 fucking members or something like that.
Who?
Rush.
No. Hell no.
All before the first album dropped, they previously had a different bassist. They had like a bunch of different people, a different singer come in. They have like at least 9 people, I think, who came in.
I thought it was just somebody before Geddy and then John Rutsey before Neil Peart.
Apparently there's a few more, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
I am aghast with this information.
I learned that not too long ago, all because of my classic rock radio show.
God damn, I'm gonna have to look that up. Fucking no. I should know that. Yeah, plug away. Hell yeah.
You think you would, but you're more familiar with like 80s and 90s Rush, so you only know the staple 3, which everyone does. You don't know about all the other members and stuff like that. I can't remember their names at all.
Hey, I know John Rutsey left because of complications with diabetes and he couldn't tour, and then he passed away. That was it.
He was probably a heavy drinker then, because I could, as a diabetic myself, like that's something I always have to be very cautious about.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that at all. In the 70s in a band.
I just realized I haven't said much more about the song yet.
Yeah, keep going, please.
I only got 2 more notes anyways. So there's like this quiet auxiliary that kind of plays in the background every once in a while, and I thought like that added more to that dreamy quality of the music. So I thought it was a good job of keeping up that consistency. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool. And then this is one of the songs where you do get vocals out of it. Which that kind of comes up at different points in the album as well, but this one felt like the most useless use of them, I guess, in fear of being redundant there. It was kind of weird because the vocals kind of like really distant in the background. It didn't really make a difference to the track, and it just it felt like it was kind of like a waste of space here. Didn't make me hate the song or anything, but just I didn't see the point in having what they did, especially with it being so quiet and distant.
I liked it. I enjoy the sort of vocal embellishments that are really just and ooh and just like that's it. Maybe they say random things randomly, but I also have listened to Stereolab and this band that I found on Spotify, Boards of Canada. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you already know who they are, but they're kind of in the same vein, and I really like that. So hearing this, I'm like, ooh, it's more of something that I already like. This is fantastic. But really just my notes for this one, like you said already, bass and drums work so nicely together. I like the bells. That was cool. There are a lot of auxiliary percussion instruments here and coming up. There's one song where I'm just like trying to count them all. There's at least half a dozen of just random things. I assume they found a box in a closet and they're like, all right, let's add all of them. Let's do it. But it doesn't sound too bad. So far, it's only been 2 songs. I like it so far. And this song is an 8.5 out of 10 danceable. Head bobbing enough, my neck hurts.
Really? You get that out of
I'm
this
healed.
one?
I'm healed. Well, because like I'll sit there and I'll like do it to the beat.
But then now you're doing it a little too hard.
Yeah, well, I'm also sort of exaggerating, but I mean, it's not like I ended up in like a neck brace.
I would like to imagine your head bob so hard and you're not even listening to death metal or something like that. It's like that would injure your neck. This should.
And then death metal, I'm sitting like you with my arms crossed. I'm like, I've heard better.
You're just like you're kind of toe tapping a little bit.
Right? Like a father at a Taylor Swift concert. It's like, yeah, this is all right.
Okay, I can hear the beat. I don't care, but it's kind of catchy at the very least. I don't know why I made him kind of a Texan, but hey.
Well, I mean, this band's from Texas, so there you go. All ties in.
Maybe it's just kind of bleeding into me a little bit. But those vocals, though, I can't get over them because, like, if audio listeners, if you're not listening to the album, here's an idea. It's like, I went to college.
I love it.
Been a doctor. Like you can barely hear me when I'm saying that, and that's exactly what it sounded like on the album.
I like it. It's not. It's unobtrusive. It's just
Well, and I'll say this because this comes up with other points in the album too when they sing. At the very least, when vocals come back up at later points in the album, whether it's just like humming or it's actually like lyrical, it's very reverbed, and so it feels. I actually literally say this point at another point in this album too, is that it just makes it feel more like the atmosphere of the song and it adds to it, so it feels better. Whereas this one wasn't really that. It feels like a choir that was at the back of the room. It's just like, come on, guys, the microphone's over here. What are you, Bob Dylan? Get over here.
You know what? You just said that so you could do an impression, and you're not going to do that today.
No, your guitar made me want to do that, actually.
Oh, damn it.
What's that I see behind you?
I really just want to take it down and just smash it to the floor. I feel like there are so many albums that we review that you're like, oh, I can't believe you think that, or, oh, I don't think that, I don't agree. And then you end up rating it a lot higher than I do. I think this request was like, let's see what Savannah will like. I think she'll like this. And you know what? You were on the money. So thank you.
Is that a spoiler for the entire album?
I mean, I'm probably not going to say any of them were shit, so... This was terrible, and it made me want to slap a baby.
This album was bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I cried halfway through.
There you go. Well, then let's see how much you cried for during this next song. So, song number 3, Maria Tambien, or Tambien.
Yeah, Maria
if you're French.
Tambien. Well, I will never give up an opportunity to make a subpar, disgusting French accent.
So meanwhile, you apologize for every other accent you do. How strange.
I want to say things as a joke, but I also don't want them to be taken seriously, so I'm going to keep them inside. And they are regarding the French.
Keep yourself safe.
So,
unlike those cheese-eating surrender monkeys. But anyway.
It's the Quebecois. Anyways, okay, I'm done. So for this song, I like, like I had mentioned earlier, I like that the guitar kind of feels like vocals itself. There are certain songs where it's a little bit more prevalent to me, but there is, I don't know if it's really the main riff. I know that it comes up like pretty much when the song starts, where the guitar slides like between 2 notes. And it just kind of does it maybe 2 or 3 times, then plays something else, and it slides back 2 or 3 times. And it feels like it's rolling downhill doing that because it's like do do do, and then it plays something else, and it just reminds me of like being in a tube rolling down a hill. And I don't know why, but for like the whole song, all I got was imagery of like kids playing and rolling down a hill.
I can only imagine this was actually an experimental band, like a far more experimental band. They put like one of those wireless preamps, plugged it into the guitar, and then just whip it down a hill when they hit the record button. So whatever sounds come out as like your guitar riff that you have to work with.
Like done and done. Yeah, it's like recreate this on the guitar, done and done. Now I like it.
At that point, I just start punching and elbow dropping my guitar. Just like that's how I reenact that sound.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So. The pacing does pick up a little more in this track too, so it's definitely like more fun and bouncy at the very least. I do like that. And some of the keyboard passages, like they have like nice little touches in here, and they're interesting little layers, adding like a good texture to the sound at the very least. So there's a lot more going on in the song that I'm actually enjoying so far, and like. I like this too because the song doesn't really overstay its welcome. Not that any song really does. Like, there's not really many long songs on this album.
I think just one.
Yeah, like the final song I think is like just over 6 minutes or something along the lines of that. But yeah, like this one's good. I'm glad it didn't go on too long. It's only 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It kind of did what it needed to, and I appreciate what it left us with. So yeah, this one was an enjoyable track. I like it.
This is the one where I mentioned that there's so many random instruments here that it feels like they chose some out of a box and they really hit the mark with it. There's like, I don't know what this is called, but it's I don't even really know how to describe it. Aside when you hit it, it kind of makes like it's not like a rattlesnake noise, maybe. I don't know. I think it has like a little wooden ball on the end, and it's like a metal piece that you hit the ball and it goes like,
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called though. Yeah.
I gotta find out what it's called, but that's in this. And then there's like, I know that there's hand drums. I don't recall if there's hand drums in this one, but I know that they exist. But I find that the use of different instruments, especially different percussive instruments, sweet. I like that a lot. And I find that the clapping is very fun and kind of adds a playfulness to it because it's just like eighth note clapping here and there. 8 out of 10 danceable. I'd shake my ass while clapping with no shame.
There you go. See, now you're starting to move a little more.
Hell yeah.
But are your feet moving on this one?
No, just my butt, because I did pull my back. I can't move too much. So it was just moving back and forth.
Well, then if you hurt your back, then all you have to do is like while you're standing there, just flex your butt cheeks left, right, left, right, left, right. See, at least you're moving your ass at that point, but you don't have to like hurt yourself doing it.
I do that when I have to pee and someone else is in the bathroom.
You flex your butt cheeks one at a time?
The next song is called August 10.
Hey, you're the one who brought that up, so I'm just getting the hard details now.
I'm just trying to get a reaction. That's all. And I'm also trying to not elaborate on any of the bullshit that I say.
Yeah, because once you realize you're tied up in one of your lies, you'll lose everywhere you've already been.
This one-liner was hilarious. I do not have a second line. Let's move on.
You'll try to convince me you had like a green streak in your hair at one point, and then later on in the story, you'll tell me it was yellow.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll move on to song number 4, August 10, very close to one of my favorite sushi restaurants, August 8. Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing that I thought of too. I was like, something local to me. Cool. But I didn't want to mention it, so I'm glad that you said something. I've actually never been there before. Is it good?
You've never been to August 8? There's like plenty in the city. Not plenty, there's like 3.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I've been to the other place.
There's a few other places.
Yeah, I just don't want to start listing local places. I've been to Spring, and that was good, but I've never been to August 8.
I've been to both the sushi place for Spring and the Korean barbecue.
Yeah,
all good stuff. I love it.
Nice.
And to answer your question, yeah, August 8 is fine. It's good. That's not the best place I've been to, but it's good.
Cool.
Sponsor us and I'll say some better things. Anyway.
Yeah. It's now a restaurant review podcast.
Yeah, last week's all about Maybelline. This week is all about August 8 sushi.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, this is another very chill and dreamy track too. I mean, there is light singing passages in this one as well. And they actually work really well with the song. As I said before too, it's because it's so reverbed and echoey, it just feels like part of the atmosphere. So it fits a lot more than just being somewhere in the back of the room over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, more to appreciate about it. I like it this time.
I like that it's a slowdown, and I can't even say slowdown because they're all fairly palatable and nothing too aggressive or crazy. So in the grand scheme of things, this is just a little slower than the songs preceding it. It sounds like there are wood blocks here. I don't know if that's the keyboard or actual wood blocks. Probably not. But it's just so funky and just so nice and pleasing to hear. I find myself shoulder dancing to the bass. It's just.
So you started with your butt, now you're going to the chest. Like, this is just.
We're building up to a full body Elaine dance. I'm telling you.
That's when you know things have gone wrong, though.
Oh, we're getting there. Oh, we are so getting there.
Settle down. We still have a podcast to get through.
I can't.
If you actually hurt yourself during the podcast, I will continue without you, and your score will be irrelevant.
I'm like stuck at a 90-degree. I'm like, I am in so much pain.
I hope that if you hurt yourself, that's really dark to say, but if you do, I hope you can hear the snap of a bone or like some sort of crink, so that way I can like amplify your volume and you can hear just.
That's terrible. How it happened was kind of like that. I'm laying in bed and, I'm trying to imagine my head sort of on a string is being pulled. My legs are being stretched. I'm like, I'm going to stretch my back. And then my back cracked. And then all it was, oh, fuck. Oh, that hurt. That hurt so much.
A solid 20 seconds of like, don't move.
Yeah. Well, like for work, I spent 8 hours walking on a cement floor. So, I mean, that's terrible to begin with. I hope you have
orthopedic shoes. Jesus.
Oh, my God. Well, I have to wear steel toes. I'm not divulging where I work, but I have to wear shitty steel toes. A place
that requires steel toe shoes.
Yeah, I work in like a warehouse, but yeah, no, it sucks. I'm old, and no, my bones will not break for your enjoyment. I will break them in the privacy of my own home by myself. Thank you.
But what if it means we actually get like paid to do this podcast? People want to hear you break your bones.
$200, and I'll purposely break my own back.
I'm just like, hey, check this out, and twist my finger the wrong way. It's like, money, please. Ow, ow.
That's some dark web shit.
Hell yeah.
I'll cut my own arm off for $5,000.
Oh, I'm not losing a limb. I'm just willing to break them. That's all. The hand has a lot of bones in it. Just saying that. So
I've broken my foot. I know.
For every $100 donated in the chat that we clearly do not have, I'll break a single bone in my hand. Want me to break all the bones in my hand? Start donating that cash quickly.
All that money is just to supplement you being off work.
That's fine. Then I just have to sit around with a sore hand for a while.
Oh my God. I'm so grossed out. Anyways, my last point, 8 out of 10 danceable if you really try.
The only other points I have for this one's got like lighter percussion in it too. Maybe like at this point in the album, I was willing to say that it was the smoothest song on the track list so far. So that was nice. Here's some imagery for you. I wrote verbatim. This is a peaceful time floating in the water at the beach with the sun beaming down on you. That's kind of what I got from this one.
I like that.
You're kind of like in a floaty tube, but there's not a lot of people around the beach, so you're just kind of floating out there. Nice breeze. You're not hearing traffic or idiot kids or anything like that. The sun's down and you got your sunglasses on. Good times. Good times.
And you hear a jet ski with some Chad yelling, "Get out the way!"
See, that would ruin my illusion. That'd be like suddenly throwing like the locust into the middle of this.
He like splashes you on your dinghy.
I'm not on a dinghy. I'm on a float tube. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, a float tube that looks like a unicorn.
Sure, why not? I'll take that. I do not have enough money for a dinghy.
Oh my God.
My ding-a-lang, my ding. Okay. Where's this podcast going?
I have no idea, but I'm starting to think we should stop drinking while we record.
Hell no. Jesus Christ, I can speak apparently. And it's funny, this is the only beer I've had all day.
I'm sure it has.
I've been working a lot today. I've been busy. Oh God, I don't even know what I was gonna say now. If it was about my dingling, I don't really care. So the only other note I have is that there's not much else happening in this track.
Yeah.
You have these like small layers kind of sprinkled through and everything like that, but like nothing's too outstanding with the song. So as much as certain parts I liked, it was getting to that point in the album where it's just like, I need something else to pick me up at this point.
Yeah. And it does not happen with this next song.
No, but I'm just trying to remember what I was going to say before. I don't remember anymore. Oh my God, I don't even know where my head is at this point.
We'll just insert it later on in post. We'll fix it in post.
I don't even think I'll remember then either, Jesus. I was going to say though that I've had a beer or a drink for almost every single episode that we've done. There's some when I haven't, but then there's most that I have. So tell me to stop drinking now. It's a little too late.
I've actually decided, because I'm not much of a drinker anyways, I have 2 beers when we record and that's it. I don't even drink during the week. So part of me actually kind of looks forward to recording because I'm like, I get to have some drinks. This is awesome.
Well, if we ever actually do a drunk stream for Kofi, then you have to get yourself a 6-pack. Let's go.
That's fine. That's fine. And because I don't drink often, I think I'll hit 3 and the loop-de happens.
Well, and that's why I said a 6-pack. Like that should be way more than enough.
Oh yeah. Does anyone want to see Tomato Face Savannah? Oh, that's what you'll get. We're gonna not remembering my words. I can't breathe and my face is red as hell.
We'll find out if you're friendly or belligerent very, very quickly.
Oh, so friendly. If I'm upset,
person who hasn't seen herself drunk.
I'm not an angry drunk at all. 0%. I'm also very introverted and I kind of keep to myself. But when I'm drinking, oh my God, everyone's my best friend. I want to hug everyone. I want to touch everything. It is awesome.
It's a good thing you didn't rearrange those words. I want to hug everything and touch everyone. It's like, hold on.
That wasn't alcohol you had. That was LSD.
Ah, there you go. Getting a little more intense. All right, so we're halfway through the album now. Let's just keep on moving because we are just dragging at this point. Song number 5, Como Te Quiero.
The song kind of felt a little sad, but like not in a this is sad way, in kind of like a I need this way. I don't know really what I meant by that note, but I also have one that says it's like a lovely slow dance. So I don't really know. Excuse me, holy burping today.
I mute myself every time. Trust me, mine get pretty loud.
Normally I will, but man, that one just creeped up. I don't know. It kind of maybe not sad. Maybe that's the wrong word. It kind of felt emotional. So it was kind of like I felt emotion through the music, which I guess now I don't really feel too much when I listen to music. It's hard to kind of connect to me, probably because I intake too much that I just sort of brush off a lot of it. Excuse me, but this one felt sort of emotional. And the vocals sound like they're underwater. So maybe it's sort of what you were saying, where it's like far enough away. But I assume that they're drowning because it sounds so underwater. It feels emotional. It just it felt heavy to me. I don't know.
I think that just adds once again to like the more dreamy quality of the album.
Yeah.
Now
that's my next note. The guitar is so dreamy.
I did a Google Translate of the title on this one because I realized how similar it is to the first song.
Yeah.
I believe it came out to was this song is How I Love You or something like that, and the first one is How You Love Me.
Interesting.
So there's definitely some sort of like narrative going on here.
Oh, maybe that's the emotional feeling.
So the first song felt like a little more uppy and go. So like, oh, you love me like a good time, but it's like I love you just like a gentle embrace.
Yeah, or it's like I love you more than you love me, so it's more intense and more.
You just feel
intense.
It's like both these people feel love in different ways, I guess.
Yeah.
And feel love for their partner in different ways.
Yeah.
One's more like, hey, we're here to have a good time. The other one's like, no, can we just and then hugs.
Yeah. Love me so much.
Aww. I did notice that, like, although it kind of picks up a little bit as it goes, this record almost seems to be slowing down significantly at this point because it's probably one of the slower, if not the slowest song on the album.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. I would hope for a little more life soon at this point, though, because we're halfway through. Haven't had tons of energy to kind of ride off on, so it'd just be nice to have a bit more of a pickup. I'm not expecting anything insanely heavy or insanely fast at this point, but like you can still have like a good, like, funky energy going on and everything like that. As I did mention too that this is kind of a call and answer to the first track. I do understand that, I guess. But they do feel like a little too off of each other. Like, I think if you're trying to tie in a story, like if there is some sort of narrative here, like usually that's where the lyrics will come in to do it. But because like that's not really significant on this album, like I don't know, I would at least expect like a motif being repeated from the first track or vice versa that can, like, you know, you can see where the attachment is. So
or like a riff where you're like, oh, I heard this already. Cool.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what a motif is. Where it's like this one main riff that you hear in several songs, and that like have one day when we eventually do the Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails, you'll hear one particular riff happen like 20 times in that album, but it's supposed to be like a connecting narrative theme.
Yeah.
But like, so I was hoping for something like that out of this. I didn't get it, but again, it's not terrible or anything like that. So it's all right. And also because of the pacing and simplicity to the riffs and everything like that, it actually makes everything like fairly memorable and hummable. So I guess catchy would be the word to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one wasn't so bad. It was a nice come down, but I'm still hoping for a little more energy.
2 out of 10 danceable. It's more of a thinker, to be honest, where you sit there and you're like, I'm going to sit here and listen to it. You don't really bop around to it.
What about you and your partner slow dancing on like a dock or something like that at nighttime in front of a fire or something? I don't know.
Fuck, I think there's one song coming up that it feels like it's like a prom, like the kind of prom where it's like you see it in the movies, excuse me, and you see the band on the stage playing and they have these lights on them, but all they are just like polka dots. You know what I mean? Where it's a movie and it's kind of set in the 80s or something. There's a song that kind of gives me that vibe. It's not this one, but it's another one coming up.
The only prom scene I ever think of is in Carrie.
That is vastly different than the romanticized version I'm talking about.
You just hear this song while sometimes pig blood dripped on them, and then like people are dying, explosions and fire, just gentle guitars still going. It's kind of like those dudes who went down with the Titanic, the band that went down with the Titanic.
Oh, they're still playing their violins.
Well, looks like we're not getting out of this gym. Might as well keep going and just playing like nice, gentle riffs.
Yeah, that is so sad.
It is, but thankfully it's been over 100 years, so we're allowed to laugh at it now. There's a statute of limitation on tragedy.
Oh yeah. Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
And yeah, that time is usually at least 2 weeks minimum.
Fair enough.
Try me.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Song number 6, Shades of Man.
If you close your eyes while this song is on, you lose sense of time and space and you're immediately transported to another planet.
I guess, I don't know. This is another one of those points in the album where I realize like it's kind of like I've been here before, deja vu, it's happening again. Yes. Not necessarily that it sounds bad, but just like I don't like being this lost in the album, especially when I'm listening to it critically. Like I like being lost in it if I can just like, if I'm in the mood for it, or I just have it on the background while I do other things, or maybe I'm like laying down trying to take a nap and like sometimes I'll put on music quietly. This is the kind of thing I would probably put on, but like listening to it critically, like there's not much more catch me at this point, so it's harder to like really feel those things, I guess. Mm-hmm. So this album's like kind of starting to lose me a little bit, but again, it doesn't necessarily sound bad, so I don't know what else to say without making it sound like I'm ripping on it completely.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. Excuse me. I feel the same way about sort of putting it on as you do your sort of day to day. It definitely is a nice soundtrack for just existing. But yeah, listening to it critically, it is a little difficult. Not only because some of the songs sort of have a lot of the same elements. It's just sort of what else is there to say after a specific point. For this one, I do like that the bass follows the guitar this time, and it kind of feels like a duet. It's not just the guitar slapped on top, like you had mentioned. It was interacting, and I like that a lot. And again, the drums still on point, and I find the vocals are gorgeous and pleasing. But I think I like her voice. I like the tone. So even auxiliary vocals or main vocals, I like it.
Yeah, because again,
it matches.
A lot of the vocals that happen here are like very atmospheric, so it's hard to catch on too much of, like, you can hear her tone, but it's like, again, it sounds very far away.
Yeah.
Which again, as long as it's part of the atmosphere, it works, and so I like that too. Yeah. And yeah, my only other note literally is just kind of going on what you said. I do like that the guitar and bass are still very playful. Again, the chemistry's still there, everything's still good. So there's that much going for it. I do like that.
Yeah. And I if you listen to the song in its entirety, at the end, it is somebody trying to pronounce the band name. And it was super helpful because saying the band name for people like us who tend to butcher everything, I was very pleased. You went to other sources. I got it from this song and I was like, Khruangbin. I was like, there are far too many letters for that to be the name. Because I would try to be Khruangbin, and they're, like you said, they're probably so fucking sick of hearing their name butchered completely.
I originally kept saying Khruangbin when I was like getting ready to review the album. I was like, I need to know if this is right. And I'm like, and then I looked at it again. I'm like, that doesn't even look like it would be Spanish. That does not look like a Spanish word. And so it's a good thing I found on Wikipedia that it wasn't. And then, I just looked at like a couple different sources. Khruangbin. I was like, okay, that's easier than I was trying to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. My last note is just 7 out of 10 danceable. I just moved in what felt like slow motion while snapping my fingers to the beat.
There you go. So you're still moving at this point in the album at the very least.
I am. Yes, I am. I'm not wheelchair bound yet. I have not broken my bones. Thank goodness.
I think we've been through far more danceable albums than this. If this was the one to get you, like, I'd be like, are you serious? Are you just that old now? Have we been doing this too long?
Are you stupid? I'm like, maybe.
That just goes to show how long we've been doing this podcast, though. It's like, if this generally chill album can injure you by moving slightly. Like I turned to face my shelf and I pulled my back out. If you didn't injure yourself during Arctic Monkeys, then chances are you'll be fine in this one.
This is true. I am looking for a album that isn't pop music, that most of the songs are 10 out of 10 danceable. So if anyone wants to, if you know of one and want to request it, please do. I would love to 10 out of 10 a lot of these songs.
I feel like that's just going to open the floodgates to albums that aren't 10 out of 10s like that. But like people just be like, oh, try this one.
Oh, that's fine. That's
I'm all part of the requests.
Hell yeah, I'm down to try.
All right, we'll move on to song number 7. Evan finds the third room. Well, good for him.
Oh yeah. This song.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
First. No, you first, please.
You could probably say something more positive than me. Go ahead.
Okay. So after listening to this album a couple times, this is the song that stuck out to me the most, only because of the yes coming through it. I was like, okay. And it definitely sounds programmed in, like it sounds like the yes is a sample, but then after watching them play it live, like clearly she says it. But I like the idea that they found some random sample of someone saying yes and they just slapped it in. For some reason, that's more enjoyable to me.
See, I would much rather have the sample of the song Yeah by Caius, where it's literally just 2 seconds and the guy just says, yeah, and then the song ends. They should use that sample instead. It'd be a lot better.
I don't know how hard I can roll my eyes, but I tried.
I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, one of my first notes is literally about that repetition too. I said it's a funky track, but the repetition of the word yes gets irritating very quickly. You gotta wonder how many you gotta wonder how many vocal takes it took. At least a couple dozen, I would imagine.
Bother me at all, and there's so many times that repetition I'm like, please murder me.
What was the most
bother me?
What was it? Steely Dan, I think it was, that had that repetition where we both ranked it as the least favorite on the album.
Yeah. Well, I know that at the end of Bodhisattva, he keeps saying it and we're like, okay, you could have like maybe cut one or two out of there. That's really annoying.
But it's that.
The
other one had a line that was like the entire song though, and it just didn't stop.
I don't know why I don't remember that.
Hold on, it's in my rating book right here.
Maybe it was so terrible that I had to scrub it from my memory. Showbiz Kids.
That was it.
Yeah, I didn't like that song very much.
No, and hence why it appeared as our bottom song on each list.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least you like the repetition. It bothered me. It's like, why is it here? Why are you doing that? Like, it doesn't do anything.
Every day that passes, I realize that I like funky disco. I already knew like I like disco beat where it's sort of just like, I don't really know how many beats on the hi-hat, but it's like hi-hat, snare. And it's just like that sort of disco. I fucking love that. So this song, super down for. I love the use of vocals, and it gets my attention enough that I hear it, but it doesn't kill any other sounds. Like it does, it's not obtrusive or obnoxious or anything. It's just sort of mixed in there. Very easy to dance to. I was kind of doing like a step clap, like you'd assume in like American country square dancing. Super easy to do. And this song actually gets a 12 out of 10 danceable. Oh, it was so danceable for me. Oh my God.
You were probably even sitting there going, yes, every time it happened to you. That's like you're just singing along proudly while you're dancing.
Well, I wasn't singing.
That was your opportunity to say yes.
But no, I'm ruining the joke. As I'm listening to it, I'm kind of like moving back and forth, and then my shoulders settle on the yes. So I'm fully engaged in the danceability of this song.
This song made me develop tics. Every time she said yes, I twitched a little bit. My head twitched, my shoulders twitched.
Scratching your neck. You're like, oh my God, I hate this.
Yeah, and then you just look like I got like big red raw marks across my bicep and everything like that. Aww. It's like, did you do that while listening to the song? Yes.
And that's just yes. Yes. And you're like, I can't stop.
I mean, the song is good other than that. I mean, like, I don't want to just rip on it too much for that particular part, although it happens a lot in this song. I appreciate the pickup and pacing and mood, and I'm glad that they sprinkle stuff like this throughout the album, so that's good. And like after the first half, I do feel like the song dragged a little bit, though. It was 4 minutes exactly. Yes. Just gonna give him back, because nothing really changes beyond in the second half. So like it was hard to keep my attention after a while, and then knowing that I had to sit through like another verse of yes really kind of got to me. So I was just like, that's enough. Room.
Yes. This is the third room.
Maybe Evan should get his ass in the third room so that way we don't have to hear yes anymore. Or behind a while you just hear yes. It's like, keep it pound on the wall. Keep it down.
It's 11 o'clock. Shut up.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Shut up.
A good idea of what you thought of the
song. This song is what it would like make me cranky on a vacation. But again, I do like the song. Just the yes part is annoying. That's all.
Yeah, I hate repetition, and I actually didn't mind it. So either I am expanding my horizons, or you are easily irritated this week.
Maybe I am. I've been very busy. I don't know. But also, let's use another example. Then when we did Oasis, and there was that one song that had a lot of repetition. You hated it so much that you counted every single time that Liam Gallagher said this one particular line at the end of the song. It was like
16 times. It was fucking annoying.
Ta-da!
But it's like it wasn't once a bar. It was like 4 times a bar. It's like, are you fucking kidding?
It doesn't matter. If you could at least sprinkle other things between that are more legible than the other background vocals that were happening, it would be fine. But just yes, every like 8 notes.
Yeah, and then it's this is the third room.
Yeah, but
yes. It's like this third room.
Yes.
Yes. This is the third room. I like that song. It's super catchy.
I bet. Let's move on. How about that? Song right, the last one wasn't a hymn.
This song makes me feel sad. And I don't know if it's like the emotional sad as the other one, but the imagery I got from this, because there are bells in the song, which I like, it kind of makes me feel like I'm in New York City for Christmas and I'm watching everyone with their loved ones, but I'm all alone. And it's the kind of alone that even a stranger holding the door open for you feels like a connection. And that's how I felt about this song. It made me sad, but like, no, it made me sad. It just made me sad.
Well, interesting, because I didn't get that feeling from this one.
No?
Because I can just kind of tag on to that by saying, like, I know I realized that I said I like the more the pickups in this album and everything like that when the energy picks up, but like going all in on like the dreamier tracks like this one, on like how they do in this one, it is nice to hear. I do like this one, the way it feels and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just got more dreamy vibes from it. Maybe like gentle, dreamy, kind of like peaceful in a way.
Yeah.
Like I guess I can see where the melancholy would come in, but at the same time, I guess I don't feel it. So it felt peaceful. So at least it has that. But I can see where you could maybe be happy or sad in this mix somewhere. Maybe a combination of the two. Maybe
you're just peaceful with being alone.
As always.
Oh, it's so sad.
I'm in my tiny little box room with fucking cheese head over here. That's all I have to keep me company. So I look at him, I say a few things, he doesn't answer. I'm like, oh yeah, I am alone.
Oh,
just waiting for your reaction on that one.
That's so sad. I was gonna say a bunch of stuff, but I'm not alone ever. So I mean, I don't know what that's like.
That room's gonna drive you crazy. The flowers will start talking to you.
Maybe. I was thinking that where
name one of them Jacob Dylan and you can call him the wallflower. You have to now.
I wish I was dead. Oh my God. Yeah, this one right here, back here, that one's Jacob with a K. Done. But now my fat head covers it. Now you don't get to see.
So you have the Bob Dylan guitar and the Jacob Dylan flower in your room.
Yes.
You just got the whole family showing up.
I don't have a shoulder harness for a harmonica, but I do have a harmonica. So if you want
those aren't expensive.
If you want that to make an appearance, I will just blow the highest note into the microphone next show. So
there's your asthma.
You're welcome. The rest the other notes I have for the song, again, I had mentioned this earlier in the album. The percussion here, beautiful shakers, bells, definite hand drums in this one. I love it. This is fantastic. The kids laughing with the birds at the end of this really sort of meld this and the next song together because it comes right at the end of the track and then the next song starts. So I don't know whether that is more of a closer for this one or an entry for the next one. But either way, it kind of felt like, to me, because I felt sort of sad and lonely during the song, having the birds and the kids, it kind of felt like a new day where it's like you wake up in the morning, your window's open, you hear the kids playing, the birds going, and you're like, okay, we're going to start again. I was sad yesterday. I'm going to do better today. I'm going to try better today. And I found that this song was 0 out of 10 danceable, but it makes me want to call up a friend.
Well, at the very least, you get to talk to me for an hour if that's any consolation at all.
It is. Because then I get to stop and I'll talk to you again for an entire week. So.
And then you get to hear about how lonely I am. That makes you feel even worse.
And then I look at my phone, look at the text and go, not today, Satan. Put my phone down.
That works too. You mentioned about the kids and the birds making things kind of feel better and everything like that. Let me tie this back into earlier when I mentioned about floating in the water at the beach. This is where the kids and everything come up, and this is where I'm laying my tube and I white knuckle and grit my teeth, saying, "Get away from my portion of the beach." You damn kids on my beach.
Showed up first thing in the morning because you were like, no one's going to be there. I'm going to be alone. This is going to be fantastic. And then around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when the kids come. And then you're like, you know what? I got things to do. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Yeah, and like I've been in that floaty tube for so long that like I'm so sunburnt that you could smell the burning hair on my chest.
Ew.
So I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should get out of the water now.
And you just use the kids as the alarm for when you're ready to go.
Hey, don't say ew. There's nothing wrong with chest hair.
I just smelling the burning chest
yeah,
hair.
I
I'm
guess
like,
so.
oh, that's fine. No, I got chest hair of my own. I understand. I pluck it out with the tweezers.
Hell yeah, hair buds.
Yeah. Why not?
Just it's like Airbud the dog, but we can be Hairbud. There you go. There's my weird dad joke of the day. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Little harder and you'll reach your brain.
Oh my God, I wish. I just want to poke through my eyes enough. They come out the back of my skull.
I only have one more note about the song too. Some of the softer and higher tone passages towards the end were a really nice touch. It was a nice change up from the guitar leading the entire time. So like in the first half of the track. So yeah, there was that much more to enjoy about it, I guess, but still didn't do a whole lot for me though.
Fair enough.
All right. Song number 9, penultimate track, Rules.
Okay, so it only took to track 9 for it to start to feel a little repetitive. I know for you it was a hell of a lot earlier, but I'm still not mad about it, and I still like it. This track, I know that I had mentioned a lot of the sort of auxiliary percussion and the other instruments that have come in. This one, the percussion, like the extra stuff, kind of sounds like a shaken bag of coins. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a stack of small cymbals. You know, I've seen that in like Mike Portnoy and Neil Peart's drum kits and all that stuff. And it sounds great. It's very like bright and shiny sounding. But this one just sounds like someone's taking a bag of coins and trying to lure somebody with them. Like, come here, I got them for you. So that was the imagery I got from this.
I only have 3 very short notes about this one, so I'm just going to kind of nail them all out right now. And I'm going to start out by saying right off the top, I feel like I've heard this one already. Not that it sounds bad, but we're running the well a little dry at this point.
Yes.
Which I guess isn't terrible considering we're nearly at the end of the album that I'm making a note like that. So I'm like, okay, we got one more song to go. I can live through this. We're gonna make it.
Yes.
Everything still sounds good though. I mean, like there's once again great chemistry between the 3 that never really went away, and spoiler alert, it doesn't for the last song either.
Yeah.
I like the way the track ends on something of a somber note. So there you go. There's your little bit of sadness for the day. Even though I guess other tracks felt like that too. And then I just literally in the last note apologize. I'm sorry I don't have much more to say without sounding redundant.
Okay, good. Because my note for this one is I don't even know what to say about this that I haven't already said. Things like the bass is sick. The guitar is like a voice that is telling me a story. The drums are tight as fuck. The extra percussion instruments are solid and I love them. And I love how tight the playing is and the imagery. All of this gives me, I don't know what else to say aside from all the stuff that I've already been saying. But this one, 4 out of 10 danceable. Again, it's more of a thinker. And that's literally all I got for this one.
Yeah, that's fine. It's funny because it's a 4-minute and 30-second track. You think we'd have more, but no, that's kind of it.
Yeah, it does sort of repeat a lot of the elements that were introduced earlier in the album. It's just the reverb guitar and the bass and the drum hand in hand doing its thing. And it's hard to kind of go track by track and pick out different things when really it's just a 3-piece with some extra percussion elements in different songs. So it's easy to mention those extra percussion because it's different, but when each song is just sort of the bass holding down the beat, the drums being tight as hell, and the guitar doing whatever the fuck. The guitar is like an ADHD child in a mall. It's just like, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that. We're going to do this. Then we're going to do that. And then the bass and the drums have the hands of the child. It's like, you're not running off. You can look at everything, but you're not leaving. And that's kind of how I feel like this entire album is set. It's like the bass and the drums keep it tight, and then the guitar is just sort of set to do whatever it is that it wants.
It's that kid who would run away in his Zellers and hide in the clothing racks while the parents go frantically looking for it.
Yes, exactly. And then you see that happen, and then 10 minutes later, you see the parent just white knuckling the kid's hand. It's like, you are not going anywhere. You had a little bit of freedom. You took advantage of it. Now we're going home.
That's right. We're getting out the leash.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting the harness.
Oh God. I'm glad that wasn't a thing when I was a kid.
We're getting the harness and the shock collar. This kid
That's
is
fucking terrible.
This kid will be afraid to do anything for years.
Oh my God, right?
All right, let's move on to the final track on the album, song number 10, Friday Morning.
You first, please. Last song.
Yeah, this is the longer one, nearly 7 minutes long, 6 minutes and 50 seconds. It's another thing where it kind of felt similar to other tracks, but it was different enough. And I think one of the biggest things that made it stand out was its pacing changes all over the track.
Yes.
So for the first,
what it's called.
Yeah, like it happened so naturally in the first little while of the song that I couldn't even really tell on my first couple of listens. So at the very least, like I was enjoying that. I was like, oh, it's like slower. Oh, it's faster, slower. So that was kind of nice, but it's not so like jarring that it would like take you by surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, after a few listens, like, oh yeah, that is a thing that's happening. So that was cool. The singing in the song too, though distant again, feels like it's more part of the atmosphere. This is where I finally made that note. Although looking at it in hindsight, though, I realized, that's like many other tracks on the song, just not fucking what it was, Lady and the Man or whatever, or Lady and the Beast.
Yeah, second one, Lady and the Man.
Lady and the Tramp.
Not even close, but yes.
Cool. Yeah, so this one feels part of the atmosphere. It helps with the overall mood of the track, and it's something I kind of realized towards the end that it's been happening before. So at the very least, I was noticing it now, and it did help my enjoyment of the track, though.
Good. The whole like slowing down, speeding up, I didn't really know how else to describe that. So my note just says, I love that it slows down nearing the end for a bit and then comes back up to speed again and then repeats that slow to fast tempo. And then as the song is ending, it ends on that sort of slower feel, which is nice because the song fades out. It doesn't hard end. So it's kind of like it's literally running out of steam and it's slowing down. And I think that is a perfect ender for this. I don't know if I would pick any other song to end it. I don't know if I would pick this one, but I feel like the layout of these tracks on this album, I have no qualms with. I have no suggestions at all. I'm totally fine with accepting it the way that it was presented. I didn't really speak much on this song in particular. A lot of them were just sort of generic comments. Although the first time that I listened to this album, I couldn't really discern many songs from others because like you're listening to it in order. Songs are like, unless the song is ending, you don't really know that you're on to another song, except for a couple of them, which like Evan finds the third room, the repetition of the word yes, that that's a different song. So I found that stuck out the most. But I found that this song wasn't any different. And until writing, like sitting down and writing the review, I didn't know this song was almost 7 minutes. I thought this song was like 2 different songs. I didn't even notice. And then as I'm sitting here, because my notes have the song title and the duration, I'm like, holy shit, I had no idea. So cool. Again, the song super dreamy. And I feel like this album, like the requester, unfortunately, I do not remember their name.
Hydro Man Ran.
Yes. Just like they said, this album definitely could be the soundtrack to my day-to-day life. I pop one earbud in when I'm at work. I listened to it. I was like, I could fucking listen to this while grocery shopping. This is sweet. And I will definitely be checking out their other albums.
Oh, there you go. At least you found something that you liked out of it.
I did.
Yeah, I do like the speed changes, but like I like them more in the beginning that happens in the first half, because in the second half, like the constant speed up and slow down, like towards the end, kind of feels a little strange, like being slowed down in traffic, like your car picks up speed a little bit. Oh, there you go, stop a little bit. Picks up speed a little bit.
I didn't notice it in the beginning. I only heard it in the end.
It happens like not as frequently in the beginning, so that's why I think it was more enjoyable, because you get like a little more of each section, whereas in the end it was happening way more frequently, and it felt like you're being edged essentially. It's just finish me, please.
Yes, and then when it ends sort of on the low, you're like anticipating it speeding up, and then when it doesn't, you're like, oh, okay. Thank you.
I sincerely hope the people upstairs just heard me yell that.
Stop.
How about no? Stay the fuck out of my business. But
oh my God.
I do like the warm feeling the song rolls out on. So at the very least, it had that going for it. Like a decent end to the album too. Maybe Rules would have went well here, but overall, this worked too. That's fine.
This one doesn't get a danceable score because it would be 0, so I didn't even bother. It's not very danceable. It's again a thinker. You sit there, you listen to it, you enjoy it. You just stay the fuck still.
You got plenty more dancers on the album anyway, so no big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think overall, kind of touching on what you're saying, like this being part of like your everyday life, like just as kind of like a soundtrack in the background, that's essentially what it would have to be for me, because like listening to this album critically it felt like forever to get through, but like the first time I popped this album on to like just kind of get it in my head, I just went out for a walk. Like I was walking through parks and stuff. So that was fine, because like that's just me walking through. I'm not like breaking things down in my head. I'm just listening to it and experiencing it. That was fine. So yeah, in any other context, this album is harder to listen to. Not that it sounds bad, not that it's super complex, but just you have to be in the mood for it. You absolutely have to be in the mood for it. And I mean, it can be hard to, especially when I'm supposed to like sit down song by song, pausings, type, listen, pausings, type. It's a little harder to listen to that way, but it's not bad overall.
I hated having to review this because all I wanted to do was listen to it. Like I walk around at work. Like unfortunately, the setting is not a park. It's not nature, but the fact that I can kind of lose my mind into what I'm listening to without having to really listen to it too much. It was just sort of coming at me and I was accepting it, and having to review it was kind of difficult because all I wanted to do was just sit back and just let it take over me and then, walk away from it. But having to explain how I feel or what it sounds like, a little difficult, but I'm glad that going forward I can listen to this without having to talk about it. So I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah, that part is over now. No more pen to paper or anything, or fingers to keyboard, whatever you do. I don't know. I do fingers to keyboard.
I used to actually write them down in a notebook, and then I realized, gross. That is the most inefficient way to do anything.
I couldn't do that because it's like also my writing's kind of shitty, so I wouldn't even know what the hell I'm saying.
Yeah.
The pickle was something, I don't even remember a pickle in this album.
It just reminds me of The Simpsons, where Homer's trying to invent something and he writes something down and it's just a growing pile in the garbage can of crumpled up papers.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention when he wrote in the palm of his hand to talk to Mindy.
Oh my God.
Murphy,
so
you are elf uncontrollably, and then just fucking mimahu magebabam.
Yeah, close enough.
With all that said, and a Simpsons reference to close it all out, that brings us to the end of discussing Khruangbin and their album. Oh god, I don't even remember the name of the album. Con Todo el Mundo, that's what it is. If it's not English, I'm not going to remember it.
Probably not.
It's kind of, that just reminds me of doing like Arctic Monkeys or Fishbone all over again, where the titles were like so damn long.
Oh my god, yeah.
I had to shorten them so much.
It's like you do Fall Out Boy and you're like, we're just going to write down the first word and then just pretend we know the rest.
Well, I think with Fishbone, I just ended up calling that album like Monkey Brain or something like that, because like give the monkey a brain and he'll think he's the center of the universe or something like that.
Yeah.
Yikes. Anyways, that's that. This is then, and we're at the end of not at the end of the episode, but we're done discussing now. So hey, thank you very much for making it as far as you have with us so far, and hopefully you've listened to the album, you have some opinions on it. If you do, let us know down in the comments of wherever you're listening to, audio or video. There are comment sections everywhere, and that also works for review too, right? So again, just looks good on us as well as it is for you, because then you can be part of the discussion that we'd like to try to have every single week.
Yeah, join our cult. Join the cult. Join the cult.
We call it a club, but yes, it is kind of a cult. So why not?
Join the club cult. Join the club cult.
Okay, that works. If that's how you're going to advertise it, then that's sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Well, anyways, more cult activities on the way because now we have to rank the songs as we usually do. That's part 2 of 3. So above our heads, boom, graphics have changed our names. There are numbers. There's going to be more names. Song needs to be specific because it's now time from 10 to 1 on each side to decide where exactly all these songs fall. I have no idea how many matches we're going to have, if any.
God, I don't think we're going to have any.
Let's see. Last week I said 2 and we had 1. Maybe 1 this week, but I'm not too confident on that one.
Can I guess within a margin of error of like 2 or 3% where you're going to place this album?
We're not at that part yet, so no.
Oh, damn. But I want to say it beforehand. Okay.
Well, yeah, you can still say it beforehand, but we're not rating the record yet. We're ranking songs.
I don't think we're going to get any matches song-wise, and I think that you will rate the entire record as 72.
What did I tell you?
I'm doing it anyways. Nope.
Well, I'm going to completely forget what you said, and then it won't even matter anyways.
That's fine. It's on the camera. It's fine.
Cool. That's fine. I can just cut this part out. Anyways, let's start ranking songs now. So song number 10, Evan Finds the Third Room. Yes.
Como de Quiero.
Oh, that's the one with the T-E? Quiero?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're similar, so I gotta be careful. It's like doing that Elliott Smith thing with their everyone and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 9, A Hymn.
9, Lady and Man. I'm not hopeful.
Number 8, Rules.
Como me quieres. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, because that's where my number 7 is. Como me quieres.
Shades of Man.
Shades. Number 6, Como te quiero.
August 10.
August 10. Number 5, August 10. Look at all these one-offs.
Number 5, Rules.
Number 4, Shades of Man.
Maria también.
Maria, the French lady down the street. We can only match one more, but I don't think we're going to. And now that I've said it.
Yeah, right.
But it's not going to be this one, though. Number 3, Lady and Man.
Number 3, Friday Morning.
That's it. That's over.
That's it. Yeah, oh my God, I cannot believe you're 10 and 9.
But check it out. Number 2, Friday Morning.
Number 2, A Hymn.
So many one-offs, I swear to God. And number 1, Maria también.
Number 1, Evan Finds the Third Room.
Yes.
This is the third room.
This is also the dawning of the age of Aquarius, apparently. I don't know.
This is the age of Aquarius.
There you go.
Age of Aquarius. I don't actually sing like that. I just don't want to actually give that away for free. So
you have nowhere else to give it unless you do karaoke over on Ko-fi.
I will not do karaoke. I am so scared of other people. No, thank you.
You can do it by yourself in your room and then just upload the video. It's fine. That way you don't have to live perform in front of people.
So I've thought of actually doing a YouTube channel where I'm not going to say what I want it to be called because I actually want to use that name still, but it's just me sitting at the computer in the living room and the camera just facing my back and I have headphones on and I'm just poorly singing songs where I can't hear myself, so I don't know how well I'm doing.
So it's like a POV asthma, like watching me sit on the computer and sing to myself while you can't hear your TV program or something like that.
Yeah. But it's like loud. It's not me just muttering.
Very obnoxious.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Why not?
We'll see if that works.
All right. Find me on one of those meme websites. Oh shit.
Well, while you're figuring out the logistics of that, I guess it's time we go over and rate the record because that's kind of what we got to do now. So just switch screens. Hey, look what's over there. All right, here we are on the album rating screen. Oh my God, so many things done, so many B-tier albums, but at the very least last week there wasn't another one. You know why? Because Kris chose the album. It was another A- tier album. We did Elliott Smith's Figure 8. Great album. Still love it. And that's what caused Savannah to hang a guitar in the background of her room.
Damn right. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But now we had to figure out where the hell this request for Khruangbin's album is going to go. And just before we kind of dive into that score, I'm going to read the rest of what Hydro Man Ran had to say about the album too, because he already kind of gave his favorite song being August 10. And it's only like one more sentence that he kind of has for this. It just says he'd give this, if he had to rate this, an 8 out of 10, which there's 10 songs, so that's going to work. So an 8 or maybe even a 9.5, depending on the number of adult beverages consumed. So
Nice.
you've either A- tiered it or S tiered it. That's pretty much how that works.
Nice. I like that.
Well, that's more than we've ever done.
Yes.
Although I did S tier Mr. Moguls California, so I mean that's something to say.
So that's what, 90% and over?
Yes, although it's not on our list because we're never going to hit it, but anything over 90% would technically be considered S tier, yes.
Okay. Now, I assumed from the just because every time we do like an instrumental band, it's always sort of like heavier. It's kind of metally, rock.
Every time we've done like one.
Exactly. So every time. I thought that this was going to be a little harder and more intense than this, but this was fantastic. It seemed to mix my love for so many genres into one. No yacht rock, but you know what? We'll get there someday. This is going on my regular rotation. Great request. I loved it. I rated this album. Shocker, everybody. Put your Pikachu faces on. 88.1. I really like this album.
Still couldn't S tier it, but you still got it.
I know, I was so close, but it is the highest rated album that we've done so far.
Yeah, no shit. Well, wait, no, that you've done, that rated
I've
personally.
done, that I've done.
90% with Mr. Bungle.
Yeah. No, you have definitely been a little more generous than I have. I have high standards, and this definitely met it. So I liked it a lot. Thank you.
Which is interesting because when I was listening to this, like I was trying to think of like not only what I think about, like I wonder what Savannah's going to think about this, and like you're notoriously difficult to please. So
oh my god, yes.
I figured like, oh, this is going to be another one of those like 79% situations. You might like it, but if you don't like it, it's probably going to be like closer to 70. But yeah, 88.1, not bad.
Yeah, right.
Me on the other hand, not a terrible album, but I wasn't super into it. So this is what makes the score so interesting to me because I gave it a dead even 73%. Yeah, you killed it with the score this time. And because of your absolutely phenomenal score, this is the first time a requested album, I believe, has reached the A tier.
And I brought it there.
88.55% A minus tier.
There's no way. You said 88.
Oh, 80. Sorry.
Oh my
80.
god,
5.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell do I have 73? You have 88.
Right?
The album's still 88. No, it's 80.55.
It is 0.01% better than Michael Jackson's Thriller, but it still does not touch System of a Down.
Yeah, but then doesn't that knock you out of the top 5?
Yes. No, I'm not even in the top 5.
I thought Michael Jackson was in top 5, wasn't he? Or was he number 6?
Number 6.
You're down to lucky 7 now.
We just replaced. Well, no, I guess it's a request. It doesn't count. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm still in the top 10. Still hanging on.
Starting to slide a little bit, but yeah, you're still
hanging on. Well, I imagine that when it comes to a top 10, you look at the top 5 and you're like, cool. Like top 3, you're like, they get a medal. Top 5, yeah, they did really well. And then you kind of look at like 6 and 7, and then from 8 to 10, you're like, I don't give a shit. So as long as I don't drop down past 8, we're fine. Then people will pay attention. Or at least I can have... I'm looking at this list and there's just my choice under 5 of yours and on top of 6 of yours, 7 of yours.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same list you are now. Look at all those Ks. You are sandwiched very hard between many, many Ks.
Oh my Lord, I need to pick better albums. And I better like the albums I pick.
Just so everyone is referenced to at the point of recording this, I guess it's now knocked down to spot number 16. The highest requested album before this was 79.61. That was Tomahawk's self-titled album.
Yeah.
That's now at number 16, was at number 15. So yeah, this one really did gangbusters because Savannah loved it.
I did. And I definitely want to listen to more of them. And from a band that I didn't even know if they were going to be English, because looking at the band name, you're just like, I have no idea what to expect.
Thai
But
name with
I
Spanish
liked
song
it.
titles.
Right? And
What
I
am
was
I
like,
getting
oh
into?
man, I forgot that it was instrumental, and I was like, oh my God, I really hope these aren't like Spanish lyrics that I'm going to have to sort of figure out the vibe. But aside from that, man, it was good. I liked it. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, you finally got something that you truly, obviously enjoyed. You like this more than Rush's 2112. That's insane.
Oh, yes, I did. Oh my Lord. I can't believe it. I feel
you make
like
a
I'm
vomit
betraying
sound.
because I'm betraying them. I betrayed them by even bringing up Roll the Bones. I feel like I did not do the band. I did them a disservice.
Yeah, the only positive thing you've done for Rush now is you've talked individually about one of their songs that nobody cares about.
It is so dated, dude.
Oh, it is. That's why it doesn't work
years
well.
old.
It does not work well these days. Because after you made that video, I actually read the lyrics and listened to the song. I was like, oh boy.
It is so dated and so tacky, but I love it so much.
Yeah. Well, with all of this excitement out of the way, that brings us to the end of our request episode 73. Khruangbin's, I have to remember, I almost always forget how to say it as I'm about to say it. Khruangbin's con Todo el Mundo, speaking of forgetting how to say things. Well, it's the end of the episode, so that means I won't have to say it again. That's fine. Hydro Man Rand, I'm sorry that I didn't like the album as much, but man, you made Savannah break her own record today, so.
Yay, and I'm notoriously hard to please. Thank you.
And you got an A- to your album. No requester so far has hit that mark. Tomahawk came close, but you did it. Congratulations. You're actually in.
Nice.
You're in with the beautiful people now. You are one of us.
Yay. I'm still waiting for my membership card, but yay.
And you even beat out Savannah's A tier pick too, so that means you're better than her. Spots now open for a new co-host. Yay.
Go fuck yourself.
Exactly. I guess I'll have to, huh? See you later.
Oh my God. I'm like,
goodbye. As soon as I said, I guess I have to, then I realized like I had nowhere to go with that. I was like, well, just double down.
Yeah, that's it.
We are at the end of the episode though, so thank you very much for making it this far with us, hanging out, listening to all of our opinions, and now we want to hear yours. What are your thoughts on the album? Where'd you rank the songs? Where'd you rate the record? Once again, let us know down in the comment section of wherever you're listening to, audio or video. There's comment sections everywhere. Leave your reviews, hit the like button, do all that kind of stuff, help build us up in the community, and you can like leave your opinions while doing it. So it's a win-win for everyone. I think it works perfectly. You can also do it over on our social medias at Rate the Record Podcast, over on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. There are ways of doing that, so by all means, do that too. But those links can all be found at ratetherecord.ca. Other links that can be found too, of course, Ko-fi.com/ratetherecord, as mentioned before. If you want to financially support the show, there is the option to do that. Again, the RTR Club or one-time donation. There's also the album giveaway link. Just a reminder, Mr. Bungle's California is being given away for April 2023. Brand new vinyl copy of Mr. Bungle's California. So if you want that and you live in Canada, the United States, UK, or Australia, go ahead. Good luck signing up for that. I think we have a few already entered into that, so that's good. Nice. So make sure you're one of them too, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a pretty popular album to give away. And of course, requesting albums, Hydro Man Rand did today, and you can too, so make sure you go to that link, let us know what you want to hear. Maybe we'll check it out. It's very rare that we turn down albums, but at the same time, who knows, but we would love to know what you would like us to cover. Yes,
and there have been quite a few requests, whether I know the band or not, just like the what is it? What is that? Faith No More.
The one we just did?
Yeah, no,
Angel Dust?
The blue one. That's it. I want to call it Midlife Crisis. I'm like, no, that's just a song. It's not the album.
You said that no one. When I said the one we just did, and you said
yeah.
You said no. It's no. Yes, that is the one we did.
Yeah, because I don't remember anything. That one I listened to on repeat. I knew the band, didn't hear the album, and I'm super pleased. Also, Tomahawk, super pleased. So these requests are goddamn stellar, and I would love to hear more of what you're listening to, so I can listen to it too. So. There you go. Yeah, some requested albums haven't done so well with you, but other ones have. Yes, when they have, they really have, and I listen to them in my spare time. So I'm excited about that. Fantastic. So yeah, send in those requests. Very much appreciated. Yeah. And also lessons are loaded a little bit. So hey, there you go. Yes, I like just being told what to listen to. It takes that decision fatigue away, you know?
Even though I tell you, I recommend songs for you, and it's very rare that you end up listening to. Did you listen to any one of those Elliott Smith tracks last week?
I did not.
Hey, there you go. That's the Savannah I know.
But there's still like 4 tabs up on my Google Chrome.
Still open a week later. What's up? Alrighty then. Well, Savannah stares at her screen and ultimately not listens to the song. I guess we'll go ahead and let you go since we're at the end of the episode. But before we go, speaking of Savannah, okay, I'm going to give my own little hint before you give yours. If anyone's been listening for a long enough time, oh, by the way, we have to give you this little sneak preview of what to expect next week, and this is exactly what this is. My hint, even though it's not the album that I chose, been referencing this one for a while, and it's not Elliott Smith. This is the one I'm super excited to cover. This is the one that should be very interesting. The fact that I have to listen to it for like 4 or 5 times over the next week, I'm just gonna be like, oh no.
Okay, so the album for next week, this band is known for their sort of one-hit wonder. I'm almost positive they don't have any other hits.
They don't deserve it.
And I believe at least one member, I'm pretty sure 2 members of this band ended up going to play on one record of a, I guess, well-known prog band.
Oh, so they played with Porcupine Tree, did they?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
They played. I feel like that joke's not going to die for a couple weeks. They played Triangle and Hambone.
Hambone, like an actual real ass ham bone?
I'm not 100% sure what a ham bone is. I feel like it's a
it's one of those Nordic instruments where they actually use real bones.
I'm looking up ham bone instrument. A body percussion technique. Maybe it's like when you slap your hands around.
Oh, so like a hillbilly type of instrument.
I think it might be like slapping your hands on your knees. Yeah. Like that YouTube video of the guy is ham boning is the act of stomping, slapping, and patting of one's arms, legs, and chest.
So that's like an Ant-Man commercial from like 4 or 5 years ago where it was like Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas just going, Ant-Man.
That's what it would be. That's what it would be. Yeah. All of this is a lie, but that's what ham boning is. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, I guess. Next week should be interesting.
I'm so excited for this. Oh my God, it's not even
blows me away. I hope my expectations are wrong.
It's not even like my favorite thing, but the fact that you're just so up in arms for having to do it, I love it so much.
Sometimes I can create the best content.
Oh my God, one-hit wonder bands are fantastic. I love it so much.
Got to do Lou Bega eventually.
Eventually. And I do want to say, just if you've gotten this far in the episode and you're like, should I support them on Ko-fi? Kris has his own set of individual videos. I'm taking 90s one-hit wonders and I'm going to listen to the entire album and see if the other songs are better than that actual one hit. And I use the word hit so loosely. This record we're doing next week, that's not part of it. It's completely on its own. But I figured to stick with my branding of 90s ridiculous alt rock bands, that is what I'm going to do. So if you're interested, you got Ko-fi.com/rate the record.
Insert RTR meme here that I usually post on Instagram.
Right? You know what? Instead of fighting it, I'm going to lean right into it. Might
as well because I have full control.
Exactly.
Well, anyways, while you go look at those Rate the Record memes over on Instagram, and while you try to guess what I'm so excited to do next week, go ahead and go listen to some awesome music. Like check out Khruangbin if you haven't done that for me. And I loved it, so maybe you will too. Go listen to some awesome music, and we'll see you again real soon. So take care, friends.
Bye-bye.